is a breaking news special report from Ferc Polo HQ, your source for based news. Today, I just wanted to jump in real quick and show you guys, while I got a couple minutes before my back gives out here, I wanted to show you a beautiful little video that I think captures just... You know how Krobcat makes videos that make the point without having to say the thing? You know, he just, the point is, the proof is in the pudding. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to give you guys some proof for the pudding. All right? Enjoy. We're going to watch this. This is from our buddy Uncommon Sense Letters, Alex Jefferson 76 over at Twitter, aka X, which no one was going to call it, okay? Maybe one day, once a generation of people die off, they'll call it X, but it's Twitter still. And Dr. Simon Godick provided this video, or Godick, you know, I can't be held responsible for pronouncing your name, Dr. Simon. Call me, contact me, let me know how to pronounce it, and I'd be happy to. Anyway, this video will be, should give you a little bit of, you know, an interesting insight into exactly why I have not been trusting these people, and you shouldn't either. So remember, this is just before Dr. Peter Hotez got hired by the NIH to be in charge of all this stuff, become our drug czar kind of a guy, in charge of policy. And they rolled this fat asshole out on TV a whole bunch of times to have him tell people, oh, you got to take your vaccines. The point of this news update was for this. So without further ado, breaking news, Ferc Polo special report.
Is unique.
This is right before he was hired, okay? This is what he had to say before he was hired when he was just at the Texas Children's Hospital.
Potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccines.
And then something changed.
What? The potential safety problems of coronavirus vaccines. Damn, this Muslim lady back here serving looks.
Any vaccine released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
That's right. Remember when he used to put on that stupid jacket and pretend to be like he just came from the lab? Like, oh, just walked out of the lab where I was doing science. I came here to tell you guys about this. Sorry, I'm making him sound too cool. He just walked out of the lab where I was doing science, and I've come to tell you guys about... This guy definitely has someone he calls Kitten, okay? Like, hello, Kitten.
J&J's vaccine has a risk of life-threatening blood clots.
Oh, no.
When you hear the beep, that's the sound of safety.
So don't overthink it. They're both really good. They're all really good vaccines. Get vaccinated now.
You gotta call now.
If you wait, it's going to be really too late to protect your child.
If this was your child, what happens next could make it the
Oh
worst
my
thing in your
God.
life.
So even though COVID poses zero
Billy
threat to
Mays
healthy
just
children,
murdered that
Vaccinate
child.
children.
Do the right thing. Be safe and not sorry.
I'm
That's
strongly
right.
recommending for adolescents to get their 2 doses of vaccine and fully immunized after those 2 doses.
Advanced technology that can help save lives.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine. A long-lasting vaccine.
Buddy Christ.
few moments later.
We're seeing that 2 doses.
Oh, wow. It is embarrassing. This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine, baby. You take this
After
vaccine,
those 2 doses.
Advanced
2 doses.
technology that can help save lives.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine.
Long-
Vaccine.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine, baby. Mr. Grinch. Doo-doo-doo-doo. A long-lasting vaccine. Well, you lied and told us
We're seeing
fibs.
that 2 doses
Well,
is not holding up well for emergency
2 doses
visits.
will not
It's
save
holding
you.
up
Need
well
a
for hospitalizations.
third.
Everyone's going to need a booster. You need that 3rd immunization.
Boost it up, baby. Booster Gold. New Booster Gold Edition vaccines. Get yourself safe. Protect yourself from our fucking virus that we created in the lab using this vaccine that doesn't do shit all to protect you, but it will cause heart attacks because it's going to migrate spike proteins to your heart tissue where it's not supposed to be. And then they're going to take that spike protein, your virus, your body's going to go, oh, this shouldn't be here. And you get inflammation on your heart tissue. And then you get a fibrillation, atrial fibrillation, and, go, and you die. It's really sad, actually. I don't know if it's
Fill
songworthy.
the amount.
Get that third immunization. The two mRNA vaccines were always a three-dose vaccine.
It was the 2 mRNA was always a 3-dose. This motherfucker. Okay, this guy's a liar, but he's out here spitting some fire though, right? Like, listen, guys, the 2-dose vaccine, that was always a 3-dose shot. I mean, what do you think 2 doses is? Huh, Chili? My puppy's back here. And he's going, obviously, 2 doses. That means 3 shots.
mRNA vaccine.
When I go and get 2 shots at the bar, they always give me a third. Chicks, 3 titties, right? 1, 2, bam. There was always a third titty.
Vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine.
There was always a third titty.
I've always said this is a 3-dose
There was
vaccine.
always a
This
third
is a 3-dose
titty.
vaccine.
But I'm not done yet.
That third immunization.
Psh, you thought 3 titties was
Problem
big?
is,
Wait
it's
until
not
you
holding
see
up. So
4
we may have to look at
titties.
sort of innovative solutions.
Oh, God, not this again.
We gotta get some innovative solutions. What? You know, there's that joke. Why do they call it space between a woman's tits and her hips and waist? Because you can easily fit another pair of tits there. Peter Hotez agrees. 4 shots, motherfucker. You got room. Put them in.
4th immunization, just to keep them.
Oh boy. Fucking Don Lemon couldn't be more boring if he, like, you can't look more boring than this. I swear to God, Peter Hotez looks like an asshole, but he doesn't look like a boring, like he looks like fucking, he would probably be fun at a party, or he's the creepy molester uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got there's something going on in here, whether it's dark or not. What the fuck is this? This is like an AI's version of an AI created an AI to make the most base, borderline, fucking brain dead, lame human with the shittiest takes possible. He's never once said anything, not one thing that bucked the system. He's never once said anything even possibly controversial. And you hear these people always say, well, look, I don't want to be the guy to have a bad take. So, dude, take the risk. Take the risk. Have a bad take. Okay? Sometimes, not if it was right. In fact, what you learn trading is that if 90% of people think something's right, they're probably fucking wrong. Why? Because someone's leading them. They've been told by the news or by someone they know. If those 90 people were all blind and in the rooms and they just gave you their answer based on full just bloop, like, I don't know, American Idol, where everyone just goes bloop and just puts in a vote. There's a book called The Wisdom of Crowds. It's very interesting that shows that the averaged guess of a group of people with no leadership, so like 10,000 people at the fair guessing how many jelly beans are in a jar, the center. So like if you put those numbers into a chart, it'll look like a bell curve. It'll have outliers on the upper and lower end. You'll have your tails. But in the middle of that bell curve, that 68%, you get that center line where most of the votes and most of the guesses correlate and start to come together, right? That is going to be the most accurate. That consensus will be the most accurate vote almost every time. That guess will be almost dead on the number. Because people are super good at forming a consensus in a large group. If you think that, if you're one of those people out there that thinks that simulation theory is real, imagine it like each person is a 1 bit of RAM. And alone, 1 bit of RAM can barely process the information that it's coming in and out. It will error and it will fail. But as you start to get into more and more RAM, you can start to cross-check and recheck and remath and any sort of errors, like when you go on Reddit and you post something wrong so that you get the right answer because it's way easier than asking for the right answer. That's how we work things out, right? We're like difference engines. So the true answer only comes out when you got enough things, like enough people looking for it. Very rarely does one person find the answer before anyone else. And when they do, that's why you get the dramatic paybacks. Like when Martin Sosnoff figured out that the Boeing 707 was actually a play for real estate and not a play for airlines. That's the guy who makes all the money. And then later people realize, like, oh shit, we should have bought hotels. We should have bought up all the land on the beaches and these fucking places that nobody could reach, because now they can, because the 707 is going to change the way people travel the world. And it did. And the people who were there first saw it and they made all the money. Anyway, I'll cut this out when I post the clip so that we can just enjoy this. But just fucking Don Lemon's boringness made me think of all of that. He's just empty. Soulless.
going. Keep the country going. We have to consider some out of the box.
That's right. We're at the 4 titties. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 titties. You got 1 vaccine. You got 2 vaccines. The 2 vaccine was always a 3 vaccine shot. The 3 vaccine shot was really you need a 4th, baby. They should have got the Rindy Macho Man Savage out here to talk shit and like, baby, you don't need no 1, you don't need 2, you don't need 3, you need 4 shots, baby. If you're not tough enough for 4 shots, you ain't tough enough to take on the Macho Man. Ooh, you think you're tough? You think you're gonna take on the Macho Man with only 1 shot? You ain't got a fucking chance, buddy. That's what they should have done. This fat asshole isn't helping anybody.
A 4th immunization, get that 2nd boost. The 2nd boost to keep the country going. I've made that recommendation, the 4th immunization.
But I'm still not done.
Semester later.
Unfortunately, the numbers are starting to trend up again. So the hospitalizations are up. And so the most important message that I have this morning is get your new bivalent booster.
Bivalent, you might be hetero vaccinated, but we've got bi-vaccines for you. If you want to be a bivalent, you can take our vaccine too. Oh, is that where all this trans stuff came from? Everyone got the bivalent vaccine and suddenly they're like, oh. Like, I know after I took the first shot, that was the only time I ever thought Kamala Harris was hot. I was definitely I'm not a fan. But after that first shot, I was like, you know, the pantsuit, she is kind of wearing. I could see how she'd suck her way into a position. You know what I'm talking about? And by that second shot, I was starting to say, like, maybe Hillary was hot when she was younger. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Bill Clinton isn't an evil person. Maybe Obama wasn't the most corrupt. I don't know why I started thinking these things after I got that second shot. It was weird. They went away eventually once I realized that obviously they are. But just fucking with you guys.
Willie and Lise were saying they got their booster, and I was like, oh, I need to get mine. And then I found out they're talking about the 3rd shot. And is that the bivalent, or is it the 4th booster, or does it matter? Like,
don't worry so much about the number of.
Bro, don't worry about the number. You think this matters? He's just like, do you think it matters? Do you really? He on fucking national television, he basically said, Joan, do you really think it matters? Just get your Pfizer shot. He fucking came out with the, why are you asking? Just get a fucking shot. If you had one, get another. You had another? Get more.
Way to use it.
You have to get it. This new bivalent booster.
You can double or triple stack them.
The new bivalent one is doing a much better job. You have to get a booster.
Yeah.
You need to get this new bivalent booster. That bivalent booster for COVID.
But does everyone ages 12
I'm the
older
asshole,
need
right?
a
I'm the
booster?
asshole for not listening to these people, for not
by the
believing
way,
them.
if you're over 50 and have gotten 2 boosters,
Everyone on the planet Earth knows that once you get a disease, once you get a virus, if you get over it, you're fucking good. The only one is like the one you need cinchona bark, you know, the fever sickness, malaria. Malaria is one where you basically, it just keeps coming back until it gets you. It takes out your organs. Very rarely people survive it, but if you take cinchona bark and they figured out treatments for it, you're fine now. Like, you can get malaria and you can survive it, and it'll, you know, I think it's something that you have to actually have like forever, even if you treat it, but you're okay. Like, once you come through it, you're all right. So other than that, pretty much you get something, you get over it, you're better, right? Like smallpox, if you survive, you're immune to smallpox. If you fucking the Black Plague came through, everyone that wasn't immune to it pretty much died. And the people who had whatever fucking chromosome that made them immune survived. And then you can't kill British people with anything anymore. These fucking British people are just impervious. They can do drugs, alcohol, they can eat crazy food. It does not matter. You cannot put a British person in the ground till they're 90 plus and they've decided it's their time. So I wish that Americans had that in their blood, but we never went through a Black Plague that eliminated 90% of us to make sure the ones left were healthy. I bet you Native Americans, I wonder if they did a study on this. The Native Americans who did survive all the flus and the plagues and all that shit, I wonder if they're have better immune systems. They must, right? Anyway, I was making a joke yesterday about the Native Americans. Someone was like, oh, you think illegal immigrants are a bad thing? And I'm like, well, they're illegal, but I don't know. Why don't we just ask the Native Americans how that worked out for them? They don't have a lot to say after that. The liberals don't have reason for the crazy things they spout. Like, they have deep down, they have all these things like they want to help people and they want people to like get lifted up and they don't want people to struggle and they want poor people to have help and they want the Haitians to not live in fucking corrugated yurts on the edge of the water they also poop in. But you can't fix every problem by wanting. You have to come up with actual solutions, and most solutions require people to work to bring themselves up to another level. So you need to empower those economies. Obviously, American government, blah, blah, blah. We can go into that. We've talked about it before. Has caused chaos all across the world. I mean, killing Gaddafi was a big one. That's a huge problem in Africa and will be for the rest of the future. But you can't solve problems by wanting them to be solved and by hoping for good. So at the bottom of the Democrats, they all feel like they really want to help people. The problem is that they have piled years and years of fascism on top of it. And it's couched in communism, but the fascism is just their approach by censoring their opposition, removing them from the ability to run for office, using the corporations to lie to everybody, and then basically preventing information that is true that is inconvenient, which they call misinformation and disinformation, from reaching people that would impact their profits. So ivermectin was inconvenient because it was going to be a very, very cheap way to cure this. And like I said before, if you have any sort of understanding of base level virology, when you get COVID, it comes in as a big, long string of chromosomes, right? And it's like, or DNA. And it goes, oh, I got to break this DNA and then shove it into your cells, and your cells will start reproducing that DNA and make more and more. And that's how viruses infect you, right? Okay, we understand that. What ivermectin does is it prevents the glutamase from activating the separations in those fucking DNA strands. So what happens is COVID cannot break itself into the infecting portion. It cannot break itself down into the weapon against your cells. So it does not have the ability to form the key to get into your cell and make more of itself. That's why ivermectin works against COVID. Not because it was designed to. It happens to work in the same way that it works against a whole bunch of parasites. And the reason that it was introduced into the world is it prevents these fucking viruses from dissembling themselves into their dangerous components. So while you have COVID in your blood, it's unable to infect you, and it eventually is removed by your body's natural processes of having an immune system. The macrophages all go to work, and they delete enemies. And that since it cannot affect your cells and cannot turn them against you, you cannot get sick. That is the whole point of taking ivermectin prophylactically against COVID. That was the entire point. They figured out, oh my God, this is crazy that this works. Remember when Trump was president and they thought he got it, what did they give him? Ivermectin. Then they gave him hydroxychloroquine. They gave him all these other things because they knew that these worked and they weren't going to lose the president. They were going to take every shot. But you didn't get to do that. You had to wait for the vaccine that they told you was going to work, that they told you that they had safety data that they were not going to present for 75 years. And everyone fucking lost their minds, demanding other people take it. I'm like, yo, if the vaccine works, you take it, right? And it will protect you. I don't need it. It's fine. I already got COVID. I feel good. You get it. You're safe, right? Well, fucking my grandma and my kids. I'm like, I already had it. I have a better immunity than you do from getting a vaccine. So we're good. Fucking people lost their minds. I have friends that still will not talk to me because their wife decided that they are on a certain side, and anyone who is questioning all 17 shots that you need to get us out of COVID-19 is an anti-vaxxer. But when you look at stuff like this, I mean, look at Peter Hotez. He's fucking lying the whole time. They're just adding more because Pfizer's making money.
And more than 2 to 4 months out, you're going to need a third booster as well, a fifth immunization.
5.
I don't think we're going to need an annual booster like flu.
Well,
Dr. Hotez supports yearly boosters, just like flu.
But I'm still not done.
It looks as though the boosters are not holding up quite as well as we'd like. And I think our thinking is going to change, and that what's going to happen is every few months we may need another booster.
Perfect results each and every time.
Matt Orfalea, dude, this fucking guy.
Massive disinformation campaign, these fake concepts of herd immunity and discrediting masks.
Well, Dr. Hotez, you are a national treasure.
It is picking off young people like
Dr.
we've never
Hotez,
seen.
You are a national treasure. That's like this Ariana Grande interview with that fucking ugly girl. Revo, Cynthia Erivo, one of the least attractive human beings on the planet. Oh my God. I'm not talking about just her physical appearance. Yeah, she looks like she's a fucking burnt match. That doesn't have anything with a stupid septum piercing. That has nothing to do with it. She's unattractive because she is the most stuck up her ass person I've ever met, I've ever seen in the history of the world. You thought Rachel Ziegler was a narcissist. Homie, you have not seen narcissism. You don't even understand what the word means until you watch some of these interviews with Cynthia Erivo. This chick loves herself on a level that is so far beyond standard narcissism that you will think Donald Trump is a fucking well-adjusted regular guy who is humble and honest. That is how fucking crazy this chick is. So if you watch those interviews, it's all just these chicks interviewing chicks talking about, and they're just, oh, you're so beautiful. You're such a light. You're such an amazing. You're so special. You're such a great person. Everything is the light. You're all so good. It's this toxic positivity horse shit where everyone has to be nice all the time. Even if the real answer is that was awful. Why would you make me watch that? That was terrible. But you can't say that. You have to say, you have to say, you know what? You're fantastic. You're wonderful. You're the light of the world. And I'll show you that after this. Well, I got time for a Cynthia Erivo video. You know what? I'll always make time to show Gundam videos on the channel. So we're gonna watch two It's a Gundam videos. One's for members only. I don't know what the legalities or the things of that is. I don't know. That's a problem. But real quick, I'm gonna rewatch this without interrupting it so that you guys have it there in case you wanted to watch it.
That was extremely informative.
Disinformation that you're hearing that kids are fine, it's nonsense. Kids need to get that vaccination.
You healthcare workers have been our saviors.
Watch out for that misinformation.
Dr. Peter Hotez is probably one of the smartest people on this topic.
If you haven't gotten your
Why?
5 and
Says
up
who? For what reason?
Yet, now's the time to do that.
Dr. Peter Hotez, thank you for saving the world.
He also supports
Thank you for saving the world.
For the 12 to 17-year-olds.
People have to feel safe.
Dr. Hotez, you are a voice of reason.
Take down the fake information. These fake concepts of herd immunity. Our last hope is to vaccinate.
And not one person said, well, you said it was going to be 2 shot. Why do we now need a third one? And why should we take a third one if we have natural immunity because we've already gotten sick? Not one person asked this fucking question throughout all of this. Instead, they're just like, you're terrific. You're saving the world. Don't question science. If you question Fauci, you're questioning science. You're questioning Hotez. You're questioning science.
Most important thing right now the American people have to do.
Dr. Peter Hotez is a person that we like to go to.
How can you see this and then trust these people? How can you see this and trust these people ever again? If you did,
The things that we're
I
not
don't
hearing
understand.
a lot about is the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccines.
And then something changed.
Any vaccine released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
J&J's vaccine has a risk of life-threatening blood clots.
When you hear the beep, that's the sound of safety.
So don't overthink it. They're both really good. They're all really good vaccines. Get vaccinated now.
You gotta call now.
If you wait, it's going to be really too late to protect your child.
If this was your child, what happens next could make it the worst day of your life.
So even though COVID poses zero threat to healthy children,
Vaccinate your children.
Do the right thing. Be safe and not sorry.
I'm strongly recommending for adolescents to get their 2 doses of vaccine and fully immunized after those 2 doses.
Advanced technology that can help save lives.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine. A long-lasting vaccine.
A few moments later.
We're seeing that 2 doses is not holding up well for emergency.
No, not the 2
visits. It's not
doses.
holding up well for hospitalizations.
Here we go again.
Everyone's going to need a booster. You need that
March,
third immunization.
coming in late on that.
Get that third immunization.
Oh,
The
yeah.
2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine.
You know me. I'm Pete Hotez. I always said it was 3 shots, baby.
The problem is It's not holding up. So we may have to look at sort of innovative solutions.
Oh God, not this again.
A fourth immunization, just to keep them going, to keep the country going. We have to consider some out of the box things.
Keep
a
the
fourth
country
immunization,
going.
a fourth immunization. Get that second boost.
I want to pull up
the
the
country going. I've made that recommendation. A fourth immunization.
But I'm still not done.
One semester later.
Unfortunately, the numbers are starting to trend up again. So the hospitalizations are up. And so the most important message that I have this morning is get your new bivalent booster.
Willie and Lise were saying they got their booster, and I was like, oh, I need to get mine. And then I found out they're talking about the third shot. And is that the bivalent, or is it the fourth booster, or does it matter? Like,
don't worry so much about the number of.
There's no wrong way to use it.
You have to get it. This new bivalent booster.
You can double or triple stack them.
The new bivalent one is doing a much better job. You have to get a booster.
Yeah.
You need to get this new bivalent booster. That bivalent booster for COVID.
But does everyone ages 12 and older need a booster?
The answer is yes. Yes. And by the way, if you're over 50 and have gotten 2 boosters and more than 2 to 4 months out, you're going to need a third booster as well, a 5th immunization.
5.
I don't think we're going to need an annual booster like flu.
Eventually.
Dr. Hotez supports yearly boosters, just like flu.
But I'm still not done.
It looks as though the boosters are not holding up quite as well
Oh,
as
no.
we like. And I think our thinking is going to change, and that what's going to happen is every few months we may need another booster.
Perfect results each and every time.
We just could not overcome that massive disinformation campaign, these fake concepts of herd immunity and discrediting masks.
Dr. Hotez, you are a national treasure.
It is picking off young people like we've never seen.
Dr. Peter Hotez, that was extremely informative.
Disinformation that you're hearing, that kids are fine, it's nonsense. Kids need to get that vaccination.
You healthcare workers have been our saviors.
Watch out for that misinformation.
Dr. Peter Hotez is probably one of the smartest people on this topic.
If you haven't gotten
Peter
your
Hotez,
5 and up
one of the smartest
vaccinated yet,
topic
now's the
my
time
ass.
to do that.
Dr. Peter Hotez, thank you for saving the world.
They also support giving that third immunization for the 12 to 17-year-olds.
People have to feel safe.
Dr. Hotez, you are a voice of reason.
Take down the fake information.
These fake concepts of herd immunity. Our last hope is to vaccinate our way through this. Make certain that everybody's vaccinated, including their kids. That's the single most important thing right now the American people have to do.
Dr. Peter Hotez is a person that we like to go to for the sort of expertise.
The single most impactful thing you can do is make certain that you're fully boosted and preferably.
Yeah, get those full boosters, baby.
Monkeypox is a global emergency.
And it's accelerating.
Oh, not monkeypox.
Social network
Oh, no.
Of men who
Oh,
have
no.
sex with men, not because it's sexually transmitted.
Monkeypox is sexually transmitted.
Oh,
Almost
no.
exclusively.
Before we let you go, we have to stop and applaud you because a lot of MSNBC viewers who have watched you constantly for the last 3 years or so and have come to trust you. I don't know if they fully appreciate what you have done.
So what do you think about that, guys?